And a very good evening to you, and welcome once again to Beyond Gardens Live. It is live. The little logo in the bottom right of your screen would indicate that. Oh, it's not there. See, I shouldn't have said that in the first place.
So
It will be there. My name's John Colville. It's my pleasure to introduce once again on the panel, on my left, Gary Heading.
Hello.
And on my right, we have met Steve before, but Steve McCabe comes back, make a welcome return to the program. And between the three of us, well, we will attempt to answer your garden queries or identify your plants or anything else you want to talk about. And all of this is made possible by our sponsor of this program, who is the Water Corporation. And we would remind you, please, when you're looking at anything to do with water, to have a look for some of the symbols that represent value and quality. They are things like the Smart Approved Watermark, the WaterWise Specialists, and the WaterWise products.
Yeah.
So a whole range of them. Tell you a little bit more about those later on. But first things first, how do you get in touch with us? Well, we say it every week, and I'm sure you've got it jotted down on a piece of paper. But if you're new to Beyond Gardens Live, well, this is how you do it. Phones first of all.
6468 5994.
And please turn down the sound on your television, otherwise you'll get this nasty thing called feedback and delay. But you won't get that if you email us.
And we have the technology, so you can email us on TV at beyondgardens.com.au, but don't forget a photo because that makes life so much easier for us.
It's a great advantage of emails. We can get instant images. You send them to us, we can show them to everybody else, and that's the way that it all works. We'll show you just how well it works in a moment, but first we'll go back a little in time, only to last Saturday when the Carrigallen Expo was on. It was a great day. This is what it looked like. And there we are. It was, really was a great day. We had a good time. Thank you very much to the people at Carrigullen, and thank you also to the people who came up and said they enjoyed the show. Nice to hear that. Now, you tell me.
We've got our very
we have a
first phone call.
First phone call of the program. Normally it takes a little while for the calls to build, so somebody's got the message and got in early. Let's say hello. Hello, welcome to the program.
Thank you, John. My question is, I'll put the question and turn the phone off so my wife can hear. End of last summer, I had scale on a lot of bushes, and it was so thick that it was right up the stems, and it was on a number of bushes, and I used the spray that's supposed to kill scale.
So are we talking about a white oil or a pest oil?
No, it was a some sort of spray that had white oil in it, but it was mainly evidently to kill scale.
Okay,
and then,
so probably a version of malice scale or something like that. Mind you, that one's not available anymore, but yes, so a combination oil plus insecticide. Yes?
Yeah, that was the one.
Okay.
I can give you the name, I just remembered if you want it.
Yeah, cool, why not?
It was anti-scale.
Okay.
And I used it 2 or 3 times, and I wasn't sure that it had actually killed all the scale, and in the end it was so thick on the branches they looked like they were white, and I dug the plants out, threw them in the bin. And I just wondered, I've found a couple of bits now trying to come back again this year, and I wondered what I can do to keep it at bay, if anything. And I'll hang up now and listen to your answer.
Okay, well, thanks for your query. It's sad, isn't it? Sometimes scale gets really out of hand. I mean, this is case in point here on this picture where you've just got, you can hardly see the stem at all. You can just see the scale. And the idea behind certainly the oil treatment for scales is that it suffocates them, but they don't drop off. This is the issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they've not dropped off, and you think you haven't done anything, but if you've applied the spray properly, you have. But I guess the take-home message is, short of those white oil treatments, white oil plus insecticide, the only other treatment I know are the insecticide pills. But you can't use those on, you can use them on ornamentals, but not on a food product.
Plants,
Yeah.
So very, very important to read the label before you go off and buy stuff, because if you're wanting to eat that, the last thing you want to do is have poisons coming into your fruit and you eating them, particularly children.
Excuse me. Yep. And can you stop them coming back? Oh, no. 'Tis the season for scale, I'm afraid. But worth pointing out, as we've said in the program before, hand in hand with scale goes ant control, because the ants are the means by which the scale spread. Yeah. Okay.
They're like the sheep and the ants are the farmers. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump straight to another call.
Are we?
Forgive
Okay.
us, because there's another call waiting on the line.
Banking
I hope
up
that
already,
was
that's nice.
Useful information to you.
Welcome to our next caller. Hello.
Hello, how you going?
We're going well, thank you.
I've got a question. I've got my roses. Roses. I've got yellow leaves on them. Can you tell me what that yellow leaves caused? What's it caused by? They turn yellow and then they drop off.
Are you also seeing any black spots at the same time?
No, there is there's no sign of black spot. No.
Okay. What do you reckon, Gary?
So just when you're calling in, if you could let us know the suburb, because that makes a big difference to our diagnosis. What suburb are you living in?
In Wattle Grove.
Wattle Grove, okay.
Great suburb, by the way. Not quite as good as the one next door to it, but a great suburb. Look, I've got some pictures of sort of yellowish leaves here, so let me just show them to you and tell me if it rings a bell. Does this sort of look familiar? Is it? There's a little bit of green on the veins of that one.
Just a leaf, but it's just yellow and it's got no black spot on it, no.
No, okay, all right. Look, it's a bit hard for me to give you a positive answer on that.
This is probably one of the queries that's best as an email, so we can have a photo of the actual.
A picture would
problem.
be really good. A detailed picture
The
would be really
leaf
good.
The leaf as like a leaf then you know what's.
Yeah. Look, just one other question that might help us a bit. Is it the upper leaves or the lower leaves that are going yellow and dropping off?
The yellow leaves down the bottom of the plant.
Down the bottom. Look, I suspect at this time of year, although you can't see black spot, I do suspect that black spot is the cause. It's fairly rampant this year. Conditions have been really good for it, and it does seem to be causing a lot of damage. Look, that's what I would think. But if you can send us a picture, an image, makes all the difference in the world. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yep.
Excellent. Okay. And then maybe we can deal with it next week, or maybe later this week too.
All right. For your information, if you're interested in sending a photo in with an email inquiry, tv@beyondgardens.com.au. We'll go to one of those emails right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we will.
Yeah. And we have a lot of emails coming through nowadays.
We have a compost bin full of emails.
And because I'm down her way, I'll pick Sue from Rockingham, and she's an avid viewer and enjoys it. So thank you for all the grovelling, Sue. But she's got the biggest. She's a very experienced gardener, and she's seeing little tunnels all through her lawn, and she wants to know what those mystery residents are.
Well, I think we can answer that. Unfortunately, too quickly.
Yeah.
You're down that part of the world. They're called mole crickets.
Mole crickets. She probably hears something that resembles a frog. They're everywhere at the moment. And if it's not that, it may even be the sand gropers, which are currently scooting through the dunes of the beaches in Mountway.
If you ever see one, this is what a mole cricket looks like. Okay. It's sort of like a very large grasshopper with very muscly forelegs because it burrows. So they're almost certainly mole crickets, and yes, they can be a bit of a problem. Sue also has another problem, doesn't she?
She
let's
mentioned.
see if I can get the pictures up of that one.
Right near the tunnels, there's what she thought was droppings.
Droppings, yeah.
Little slimy, bottle green in colour.
And she sent us the picture, which was nice.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful picture. A couple of pictures of the droppings.
It's really handy. Really.
We took a little double take at these because I don't know anything that drops things like that. But then the penny dropped, and that is it is a fungus. Sue, it's called flat black cup fungus. I have to say that slowly.
Very well done.
Flat black cup fungus. Nothing to worry about. Just part of nature's great diversity.
Yep.
And
never seen
she had another query as well, I think.
Yeah, she'd actually done really, really well and sent us a picture of a tree or a shrubby tree. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a tree.
It's going to be a tree.
That's the tree, and here are the flowers on that tree, and it's the flowers that are the giveaway. If you could smell it, it would also give it away. It's sweet scent. It's one of the pittosporums, one of the Australian native pittosporums, known as Victorian box, sometimes Victorian coachwood, Pittosporum undulatum. What would I say about this? Big tree. It is almost declared a pest in other parts of Australia, can get out of hand, but with a little bit of pruning, it should be fine. An enjoyable species.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have more calls. Are you going to tell me this?
Yeah, well, there's one live. Ready to go.
Let's have a talk to them.
That's wonderful. Hello, welcome to the program.
G'day, my name's Iona and I live in Jarrahdale. How are you?
We're all well, I think. Are we well?
I'm well.
You're doing well to pick us up.
Yeah, we're well, Iona.
I have two plants with the same problem. I have a large cherry tree that sends out a lot of suckers, and I have a large white wisteria which always does the same thing. And I was wondering, if I prune and then poison those suckers, will I damage the main plant?
It does depend to a certain extent on what you use to poison the suckers. If you use perhaps the most common one of all, let me just see if I'm, for those people who do pruners, for those people familiar with these things, when we grow a particular variety of tree, what happens is we use a very tough rootstock and then we use the selected form on top. And if you're not careful on that picture, it's perhaps not as clear, but you can see that green growth coming from underneath, and those are the suckers. So did you say the first one was a cherry?
Yeah, it's a large fruiting, it's a black cherry, and I have a white cherry too, but that doesn't have the problem. It's just the black cherry.
Yes.
It sends out suckers up to 2-3 metres away, and it always seems to sucker from where I prune those suckers back. So I was wondering, if I poison it there, is it going to damage the main fruiting tree?
It can. Even if you use something like phosphoric acid, Roundup, that sort of material, yes, it can cause problems. What am I saying first? Glyphosate.
Glyphosate, you mean?
Glyphosate, yes. Steve's looking worried. Should have said something. It can cause
Said something
problems.
with my face.
The best thing you can do, and I know this sounds terrible, and I'm going to give you an awful pun at the moment, but it's true. It's how I remember it. And that is to try and rip the suckers off because, are you ready for it? Never give a sucker an even break. But some people just cut and they leave the buds down there and you just get new growth away from the buds. If you can remove it that way,
you've got to be brutal, don't you?
Got to be brutal, yeah.
And the classic one, which is coming up soon, will be the passion fruits. They sucker everywhere.
Yeah. The important thing to remember when you're with trees like that, that are on rootstock, that tends to sucker very easily, is try and minimise soil disturbance, because that will stimulate the production of suckers.
Okay.
So no digging nearby, Iona. Yeah.
Yeah, chooks, that is a problem.
Yeah, chooks are a problem, yeah. But they taste nice.
Yes, they do. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Let's go to an email.
Oh, right. We've got another email. This time it's from Pia in Roleystone. Pia's got a real problem with her marri trees. They're starting to leak sap. They're losing condition. And she's just sent a photo and asking us what's happening with her marri trees.
I should perhaps add, this is not the photograph
It's
that
not
Pia
the
sent. That was a little bit indistinct, Pia, but it gave us an idea. And we can give you the news, which
It's very,
is not good.
well,
Is there any good news in this at all?
No,
No.
not for your marri trees, I'm sorry. This is marri canker. Its name is Camellias Correa Cup.
Which is why we call it
Camellias
marri canker.
with one L, marri canker. Once canker symptoms are evident,
That's it.
they don't recover.
That's it.
It's not nice, and it's not quick either. So these beautiful trees are going under this disease. There is one thing you can do, and that's to participate in some citizen science. There's an app for that. There's the marri app that's been developed, and you can get in touch with Murdoch University to find out what that is. You use all of some of the snazzy features of your smartphone, your location, the camera. There's information on the condition of the tree, and that can all be, with everyone's participation, all that information be collated, and we can get a bit of a feel for what's going on. But this is serious.
It's unfortunately really serious stuff.
Leaks a lot of that keno, which is like marries are called blood roots, and you can really see they hemorrhage this keno.
Well, the very first symptoms that I've seen, unfortunately, I've had a lot of the marrows on my place. You just get little dark runs to start with, then they get bigger and bigger, and then the bark splits, and then you even get large knobs of stuff. But by then, the tree is well on its way. You said it's not quick. I would disagree with that.
Okay.
Less than 12 months and the tree's gone.
There's one of the symptoms. I think you can see it in that photo that you put up. You get the tree trying to defend itself, and then the fungus goes further in, and then it defends itself, builds a little wall, so you get that sort of target formation in the canker. So it doesn't just roll over, it tries to defend itself, but eventually that fungus goes all the way around and the tree dies.
In fact, that's,
which we know, unfortunately.
that growing out is what defends it against dieback. So white marries don't suffer Jarrah dieback. So unfortunately, this one's copped it.
The left one doesn't get you, the right one.
Yeah, the right one does,
It really is, I shouldn't make fun of it, it's really a serious and very significant problem. A very large percentage of our marries are going to die. That's not just the shame of dead marries, but if you want to put a dollar figure on it, it's going to cost a fortune to take these trees down by the sides of roads and other things. The black cockatoos are not going to have anything to feed on. It's a significant problem, but sadly we can't offer you any cure. Wish I could.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Emails?
Yeah.
You want to go for another email?
Yes.
Yeah,
Why
let's do
not?
another email.
All right, we're getting around this time. It's Chris from Yokine. He's got 2 garden questions. He's got 2 ornamental plums. They're 3 years old. They seem to be growing healthy and happily, but they've never really bloomed. And what's really annoying about it is that similar trees in the neighbourhood are blooming to perfection, and he's a bit jealous. So he wants to know what's wrong with his.
Which I can understand. So, Chris, if things go well, right, your tree will look like this, hopefully.
Just to annoy him.
Yeah, just to annoy you. But it's probably more a matter of time than anything else. Again, grafted trees, as we've just been in the call a couple of calls ago, really. Grafted trees, it takes a little while for them to settle in. Once they settle in, they will start to flower. So apply a liberal dose of patience, I think, Chris.
And
that's something many of us gardeners don't have, isn't it?
Yeah,
I want it
please don't get into the habit of throwing a whole heap of fertiliser and things on trying to make it hurry up. It will do it when it's ready.
Not going to make, not going to make much difference.
And I bet you it'll be next year that you'll have a beautiful bloom. Now, Chris has got another question. 2 months ago, he planted a Tahitian lime. Grew well first up, shoots, leaves, everything was going really, really well, and then suddenly, progressively started looking sick, wilting, and we've got some photos.
Have we?
Have we? No?
Old news to me.
Haven't got
Lovely
photos?
live program like this.
All
Well, I can show you a picture of citrus, but let's see what I can do in terms of lime. Not a lot. Here's one, however, and oh, there it is. When things are going well, that's the fruit. Okay, that's as far as we can go. What the major cause of this plants going back at this time of year is nearly always over-fertilising. It's the first thing I look at. Still, many of the books and things, particularly old books, will tell you to fertilise twice a year and chuck on heaps at the same time. And if you put too strong a dose of fertiliser on, the reaction for all the citrus is the same. Drop leaves. Too much, drop leaves, drop fruit, drop everything, and not until they can get away from that strong solution around the roots do they start to recover. Bear with it. It'll be okay, I'm sure.
So he has attempted to put some organic compost, granite dust, and some of the, I guess what you call the sanding remedies, which are the clays mixed with zeolite and a few other products. You know, these are some of the things that you can get carried away with them, but the idea is that allow the root system to develop properly, get that mulch over top of the roots, beyond the drip line, and you just watch it start to recover as it gets warmer. I'm noticing all my citrus trees are now taking off.
And every week we impart the same message because it really is so important in terms of water conservation. What's the good mulch to use?
Okay, large coarse irregular particles that hold little if any water.
Because that's the mulch that works for you, or more specifically, for your plants. Doesn't matter what sort of plant it is, okay? The mulch works in association with the soil. The plants growing in the soil don't come into the equation, wherever. Vegetable garden, shrubbery, you name it, use the same mulch. We have more. And
there's a logo. There's logos you can look out for to find commercial products for that.
Some of the mulches
and we'll show you them later on.
Yeah. Okay. More emails. Let's catch up.
While we're dealing with this email, I'd like to remind viewers that you can call. The number is 6468 5994. Let's go to another email.
Yep, we've got lots. So
yes. Barbara from North Lake this time. She's heard us commenting last week about thrips and systemic pills to control it. Would the same help my large, well-established camellias?
And I think the simple answer to that is yes. Next email. Okay.
Well, she's tried a range of things, but yes, it would work. All right.
I'm working your double time tonight.
God,
I noticed, yes.
All right. Have we got the hedge one?
Go on.
This came from an iPhone from Vince. Doesn't say where he is, but I'm planting a new hedge of around 20 metres long, and I'm taking cuttings from an existing hedge of a lily-pilly. Can you tell me if landscaping mix would be a good start to plant the new hedge in with some animal manure and compost mixed in that? Thanks, Vince.
Well, let's look at what landscaping mix is.
Yeah.
Well,
first
the
of all,
background to that is Vince wants a kick along. He wants this plant to hurry up, so he's looking for a way to give it a boost. That's the subtext. Now,
what are we?
John.
Well, let's deal with lily pillars first of all, just so that everybody knows what we're talking about. There are a few different ones. They mostly go under the scientific name of syzygium, but they don't all.
Yeah.
Some do, some don't. They're characteristic, I suppose, is a fluffy white flower. You look puzzled, but that's how I describe it. It's sort of, a fluffy white flower. And that's followed by a fruit, which is usually in the pinky, purple, blue range. Yep. There are some very nice edible ones, are there not?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, which Steve's make. What do you make? Blancmange, isn't it?
Yeah, or a sorbet, or all sorts of things, really.
But they're all fairly tough and fairly hardy, with one particular problem, however, and the problem is called psyllids, so make a real mess of them. The other group of plants in the same name, that often are called the same name, are acmina, and I think we've got a question about one of those somewhere on file. They're psyllid-free. So, Australian plants, fast growing, tough, hardy, adaptable.
Edible.
Yep, edible. Some more edible than others, with a crisp flavour, and they certainly will benefit from soil improvement. So that was the question, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to go overboard with soil improvement, though.
No, not for those sort of plants. And like we always say, go beyond the root zone. Don't need to water just the base of it. Encourage those roots to go out, and you watch how fast they start growing at this time of year.
Yep. Of course, I think most people remember lily pillars from the mess they make on the footpath.
But that's not all. It's not all lily pillies.
And once they are established, to be fair, some of the older varieties almost weedy because they've got a very good root system on them once they're established, and that can invade the garden. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we're going to a break.
Oh, are we?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. Let's do that then.